Hey guys, welcome to my show today, Voice of the Wanderer. I'm your host, Freddie J. And with me today is the beautiful Courtney. We're going to be talking about her migration from her previous career into the adult female industry. We're going to be talking about how she was able to manage to mesh that with her family responsibilities and family life, and also how she deal with the stigma from her religious families and friends. This is going to be fun. This is going to be very, very informative. I'm new to this. I want to learn more about what she does, and I know you guys are eager to know too. It's going to be fun, and leave your comments, critics, and likes, and stay tuned. Thank you. Okay, guys. You guys are welcome to my podcast today. I'm your host, Freddie J, and this is my podcast, Voice of the Wanderer. And today we have the beautiful Courtney. It's nice to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So, could you introduce yourself, please? I'm pretty sure everyone is dying to know who you are.
Yeah, I am Courtney Huff. I'm born and raised in Pocatello, Idaho, tiny little town. Yeah, it sinks into you and you can never leave.
So, you were born and raised in Pocatello?
Mhm.
Never moved? Nothing?
Nope. I almost moved to Nashville, but I ended up not doing that.
Nashville, Tennessee?
Tennessee.
I want to go to that place
It's a
sometime.
fun place.
So I've heard.
Mhm.
Anyways, so you've told us your name, told us where you're from. Could you tell us more about you? Like, we want you to go in depth. We want to know the Courtney that people don't know.
The Courtney that people. Well, okay. I'm 29 years old, so I'm pretty young. And God, there's not too much about me, but until you dive deeper, I guess. I was born and raised Mormon. If people don't know what that is, it's LDS.
You mean LDS?
Yeah, LDS. Everybody calls it Mormon here, so
Okay.
yeah, born and raised Mormon, and just kind of never really stuck with it, I guess. My parents hear it, they'll be so mad.
It's okay. Your dad is not gonna be mad. It's fine.
Yeah. So born and raised LDS, which kind of keeps you sheltered with a lot of stuff, I feel like, especially as a woman. You kind of get shamed into things too, so which is yeah, kind of important as to where I am now.
Yeah.
But once I graduated high school and everything and kind of got out of my parents' house and out of that Mormon bubble, I decided that I was gonna figure out where I wanted to be in life and start to embrace parts of me that were pushed down, if that makes sense. So once I got married, got out of the house, I started to figure out who I was. And a lot of that revolved around going to the gym and things like that. So I started doing that. I had to stop though because I had fertility issues that it was a lot of fun. So that made me stop going to the gym because I had to take all this medication. I had to stop doing anything and pretty much just lay in bed so that I could get pregnant with my kids. So once I finally got done doing all that, it put so much freaking weight on me. I probably was up to like 300 pounds, honestly.
Are you for real?
I'm for real.
Damn.
You've seen the pictures.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, you at 300 pounds?
Probably.
Wow.
Yeah, because of all of that. And my doctors didn't listen to me. And anyway, last year I decided to get my life back. And it was kind of like, I don't care what doctors say anymore. I'm going to do it for me. So I went and I got blood tests done. After I had to get an emergency hysterectomy last year, I was 28, which doesn't happen for 28-year-olds. So,
what's that?
A hysterectomy?
Yeah.
A hysterectomy is when they have to go out and pull out your uterus and everything, pretty much so you can't have kids anymore.
And it's for life?
Yeah, for life.
So no more babies for you?
No more babies.
Ouch.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But, you know, with everything that was happening to me, I have PCOS and endometriosis, which, if you don't know what PCOS is, it's when you have cysts in your ovaries that fall down and they basically explode like little bombs. So they're eggs, what you would, you know, turn into a baby. So that pain was really bad, and endometriosis gives you a ton of pain, makes you like bleed all the time. So
Wow.
like it can be life threatening too. So I had to get that all done, and I was talking to my doctors about everything, and they um they just said that I needed to watch my weight and, you know, figure out what was going on, but they didn't want to figure out what was going on because I was questioning them. So I went and I got my hormones checked, found out the whole reason why I was gaining all this weight was because my estrogen level was incredibly high and I was producing no testosterone, which women are supposed to do. So within like 9 months of correcting that, I lost like 100 pounds out of like nowhere just from correcting my hormones. And then one day I was talking to my husband and I was like, you know, I need a lot more confidence. I've lost all this weight, but I feel so bad about myself and like how I look and everything. And I was like, I'm going to start posting to this place called Reddit to make myself feel better. So I did. And I had enough people talk to me and they're like, oh, you should make an OnlyFans and you should do, you know, this kind of stuff. And because I would have never done it. So I did. And I use some of that money that I make from OnlyFans to help fund an animal rescue here in Idaho. So it kind of helps me feel better, I guess, starting out, you know, because I was
Yeah.
that sheltered Mormon girl.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, at least this money is going to something good. But then it got fun, and then I just kept doing it, kept losing weight, feeling better about myself, and OnlyFans has been fun. I was kind of surprised, but I was surprised how much work it was. That's been the kicker. So that's kind of what got me to where I am. Courtney's life in a nutshell.
That's nice. If I get you correctly, you're an entrepreneur, so you're self-employed.
Hmm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I used to say that I don't want to work for someone for the rest of my life. I think that's pretty great.
Yeah.
So for the animal rescue, I think it's a noble cause,
Hmm.
helping these animals. Some animals are abused,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just find them abandoned also on the road
Hmm.
and stuff like that. I mean, you go to the shelter, you find these cute dogs, cats, all those pets.
Hmm.
So I think it's admirable. I admire you for that. And
Thanks.
so about the OnlyFans, could you share more light on that? I know many people don't know much about OnlyFans. I have a clue,
Hmm.
but this podcast is not about me.
Yeah.
It's about them.
So,
So,
like, do you want to know like what it is?
what it is, what it
Okay.
entails, what do you do, like,
Okay.
what are you comfortable sharing?
Okay. Sweet. So, OnlyFans is like a paid subscription site where you can follow your favorite creator, and that person, they could do whatever. I think when people hear OnlyFans, I think sometimes they think it's just all like sexual, which I guess it's actually not, and I was kind of surprised about that. Um, there's a lot of people that use it for baking or like the behind the stage access that you would get from your favorite like actors or singers or whatever. So like it's stuff that you don't get to see in your everyday life, I guess. If you really like this person, you get to see a lot more of that person than they would share elsewhere. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
So on my OnlyFans, mine, it is on the more sexual side.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, it was the getting out of the Mormon shell, which a lot of people actually like that. And that's what brought a lot of people to my page, is the fact that I am ex Mormon. So,
So
yeah.
you're attracting the ex-Mormons, the group to your page.
Well, and current. There's
A
actually
current moment? Really?
there's, yeah, seminary teachers.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Yeah. There's seminary teachers, there's people in the bishopric, there's like,
That's interesting.
yeah. I mean, hey, to each their own, but yeah.
I mean, I'm neutral.
Hmm.
I have no opinions right now. My job is to ask you questions and have a discussion. I mean, I don't blame them, but I mean, you look great. So,
Thanks.
I mean, some people want to appreciate nature. Who am I to judge?
Yeah.
You know. So, like you mentioned before, you're married and
Hmm.
you have kids, and so how do you deal with that stigma from friends and family members? How do you deal with that? How do you manage that? I'm pretty sure most of your family members know you do OnlyFans, and your friends also.
Actually, I don't think a lot of them do.
You think so?
I don't think that they do, and if they did, then they had to go looking for it. So I've kind of gotten to this place in my life where I really don't care what people think of me anymore.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and it took a long time to get there, and I think I got that hard skin because I used to be in such good shape, before I had all that shit
Yeah.
happen to me. So it was more of the, well, look what happened to her. Why doesn't she look that way anymore? So I got that thick skin now that I'm like, well, and if they did find me, they were on dark places of Reddit. And it's like, why were you there?
Yeah.
But um, if they did, I mean, I do have a few friends who know that that's what I do, and they're super supportive about it. One of my friends is actually a counselor, and she said the same thing. She's like, you know what? If it's done nothing but be good for your marriage and be good for your self esteem and things like that, how is it a bad thing? And that's exactly what I said too. I was like, I just feel like a better mom because I can talk to other people on there, and I'm not talking about Paw Patrol all day because that's all my kids want to talk about.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So when they go down for nap time, that's when I get all my stuff done.
Hmm.
And same thing too. I think a lot of people would think that messaging people back and forth, they're just wanting to sext with you or something. And it's like, no, they're not. I actually get more people that are, how's your day? How's your family? I feel more like a
Really?
therapist than anything else because I listen to their problems and kind of like a hairdresser. When you go and talk to a hairdresser, that's kind of how it is most of the time. 90% of the time, that's what it is. But I mean, on my page and on my feed, there's, videos or pictures or sexual natured things, but in my inbox, it's almost like friends just talking, pretty much.
I'm surprised you brought that up though, because in this generation today, we have a lot of quote unquote honey people,
Yeah.
and all they want to do is we have the pedophiles,
Hmm.
and we have all this group of sexual people.
Hmm.
I mean, I am not judging. Of
Hmm.
course, I'm judging the pedophiles
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
because I think it's wrong.
Oh, of course it is.
So they just check up on you because I'm pretty sure those old people, like the 85 or 95-year-old people, they'll be like, "Can I see your feet?" How do you deal with people like that? How do you deal with those kind of messages? Because
The ones that are a little more uncomfortable,
I feel like it takes a lot of patience to do your job.
it does. So I'll give you an example. I don't really reach out to people. Like I post all my stuff on Reddit, Instagram, and a few other places. My Reddit inbox, I have, oh God, what was it? Like 5,000 unread messages, and I will never catch up. On there, I get unsolicited pictures, I get the weirdest requests from people. Um, and like, I've that's just part of it. I can't answer all those people, back.
It's true.
So that's how I filter it out. Is I tell everybody if you want to talk to me, the place to do it is OnlyFans, and usually it filters out those messages that you were
It
talking
does.
about because they're like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna go onto OnlyFans and talk to her because I want to talk to her, not I'm just gonna send her all these weird things. But you do get those, like, let's see, what was the weirdest one? He's not on there anymore. I had one guy message me and well, there's two of them. He wanted me to break all my dishes wearing heels and lingerie. And it was weird. He was like, just break all your dishes for me and I'll buy you new ones. I'm like, no.
That's traumatic.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, because in my mind, I'm like, yeah, it's like he was willing to pay for it, but I'm like, then I got to clean it up. I got to clean up my floor and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, well, whatever. That's your kink, but that's not mine. Or this one, actually, this one really got to me because it kind of pissed me off. He, do you know what crush videos are?
I do not.
Okay. So it's basically when it's a taller girl, and I'm taller.
How tall are you?
I'm like 5'10".
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's when a taller girl puts on heels and like stomps on stuff. Okay. It's like a giantess kink or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
I get it now.
Mm-hmm. But it can get like super dark, and you will get those people because some of them want you to like step and kill little animals.
Wow.
Yeah, and that one person was like, I'll pay you to go get like a little kitten. And I'm like, okay, dude, no.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like, yeah, that was not good. So you get those people and that kind of stuff, it's illegal.
Yeah.
But that was probably the weirdest one. It
Hmm.
was a weird one.
So, I mean, you mentioned people subscribe to your page.
Hmm.
They pay, and how is it like? How's the pay like? Is this something you could survive on, like on a monthly basis or weekly basis,
Hmm.
or is it like is OnlyFans more of like a side hustle, or could it be a full time job? In your opinion?
It could definitely be a full time job. It is for me a full time job. Um, it's basically what you put into it is what you're going to yield out,
Okay.
if that makes sense. So if I was advertising more on a couple other places, like I guess TikTok is a really popular one, then I would get a ton more subscribers. But I just haven't yet because I'm like, oh, I'm new to this. I've started doing it for 8 months. I need to get comfortable. So as far as like if you could survive, yeah, you definitely could. I know somebody who makes $10,000 a month off of
Can I open an account today? Or something.
it. Yeah,
That's a lot of money.
I know. But for me, I'm in the top 5%. So that's pretty damn good for as much as I put into there. But like I couldn't tell you how much I make off of it because it's different monthly, if that makes sense. So people can set whatever they want for like a monthly subscription fee. Some girls will put, okay, it's $20 to subscribe to my thing, $20 a month.
Hmm.
But then they make you still pay for the videos once you subscribe. So you're kind of getting ripped
It's
off.
kind of greedy, huh?
Yeah. So it depends on the people and it depends on, what you do. And you kind of have to gauge, am I worth this? Is my page worth this? And yeah.
And part of your job also is staying in shape, if I'm correct,
Hmm.
because your body is your brand, right?
Yeah.
How's that like? Is there like pressure to look a certain way?
Yes and no, because like I said, I had two kids and I lost all that weight. So for me, it's like I will go nitpick stuff like, oh, I need to, go get a boob job right away, or I need to tighten up the skin, which it can't be, once you
Yeah.
have all of that trauma, it's not ever gonna go. So I think you do get the pressure of wanting to go get all these surgeries done. And I've had to get out of my head and be like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna do what I'm doing and do the best that I can do. I'm gonna still let it motivate and drive me because that's what's been doing it. But there comes like a clear line with obsession and progression.
It's true.
So it's like I got to be very careful because I used to be one of those super obsessed people. I was training to compete, back before all my stuff happened to me. So I think back of what I looked like, and it's like I had abs and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I want that back. But then it's like, well, you're 19, you're 29 now, and you've had two kids, and God knows how many surgeries on your core. It's like it's going to take a little bit. So it's been a good driving force for me to keep going and doing the things that I want to do at the gym. And it's been also good for setting those boundaries too that I didn't have before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's nice. So, how do you market yourself? I know in the past I didn't know what OnlyFans was or what it was all about until you see these people add you on Snapchat, and the next thing they send you a naked picture, and they're like, "Oh, follow my OnlyFans page."
Hmm.
So annoying,
I know.
super annoying. So, are you one of
Hmm.
those people?
No. And like, I know I could make a lot more money if I did do that. But a big thing about me is I like to be super authentic with my stuff. So I will never push things on people. Like I can't do it because I hate it, you know? So I'll go post photos on different subreddits. Like a subreddit's like a channel.
Yeah,
Okay. So if there's a subreddit that's talking about butts or whatever, it's like, yeah, then you gotta post a photo that
yeah,
obviously has something like that. So it's more like teaser stuff that I'll put out there. I do have a Snapchat and I do let people follow me, but I never go and add people off of it just because I hate that. So I do Reddit, I do Instagram, I post to Instagram daily. I post my stories on Snapchat. And yeah, so far I'm just doing those ones. And I will branch out once I'm a little bit more comfortable and want to. But I'm not one of those people either that wants to go on TikTok and do those annoying, stupid dances. I just, no, I can't
are
do
you
it.
saying you can't dance?
I can't dance worth shit.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
So, so you're looking at doing OnlyFans long term, or are you thinking of short term?
I don't
Is,
know.
is this something you want to do for like a? Because I know old habits die hard.
Hmm.
When you've done something over and over again, it just becomes part of you.
Hmm.
Was this like an experiment? Were you trying to try it out?
Kind of. So like I said, it first started for like body confidence.
Yeah,
And I was surprised how many subscribers I got when I first started it. Like within a couple days, I had like 50 people on there, and I was surprised because I
yeah.
was like, oh, I didn't think it would get that much. But then after that, my husband had a huge work accident. Yeah, so
Oh,
he had to be on workman's comp, and workman's comp in Idaho sucks. So
it does.
it's not very
I've
good.
never used it, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's not very good. And I had an insurance background before I did all
Yeah,
of this, which was good, but
it helped, huh?
it did. But the thing was, is you don't get paid as much, and we had the inflation and everything else going on at the time. It's like thank God for OnlyFans, because if I didn't have that, and if I didn't push a little bit harder, then there's no way we would have like stayed afloat like we did because of that. And when, of course, we had just bought our new house, and it's like when it rains, it pours. And of course, getting close to Christmas time, and he still wasn't back to work. So for me, I think when he got hurt and I saw how much I actually could make off of there to help offset stuff, it's like, why not? So I think right now, I just want to see where it can go because it doesn't happen very often that you do as well as I'm doing for starting out. So I would like to keep doing it because it does help me with my journey and supporting the animal sanctuary, but I don't think I would do it long term. I'd like to make good money off of it and build some things to do here in Pocatello because we don't have very much like family activities that you
I
can do.
agree. I agree.
Yeah, so I would much rather make money so that I could do something like that and then just call it good.
Okay, so I'm gonna pry into your private area a little bit.
You can pry.
So, how does your husband feel about you doing OnlyFans? And also, like, are you guys in like an open marriage, stuff like that?
So my husband is super supportive about it. He's, he's a guy. So he's like anything that you can do to make yourself feel better, make you, look better, make you just be more because when you look better, you're more confident. So he was around somebody who was just a lump on a log, depression, suicidal, all this stuff before, and now he gets how I am now. It's like he's more than happy about it because it's been good for our relationship. It's not just, oh, it's Wednesday, we need to have sex because we haven't had sex in 3 weeks. Lay down. So it's not like that anymore. Now it's he can't keep up with me. And as far as the open relationship thing, yes and no. Like he is totally he's like a it's like a cuck is what it's called when you enjoy seeing your spouse with somebody else. So he likes that as long as he can somewhat be a part of it. So like if I send him a video or something. And I've only done it like a couple of times. But it's more for like content purposes, I guess, because people like that.
Yeah.
So it's more for that, and because he knows that I'm not gonna go too far with it, if that makes sense.
So you guys have boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's got to have boundaries.
Okay.
So he knows about everything before anything happens.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah.
And it kind of spiced up your relationship, huh?
Definitely did.
Made it better.
Definitely did.
So I guess OnlyFans therapy.
Yeah. And like couples therapy.
That's nice. So let's transition a little bit into your religious background. I know you mentioned you were born LDS. So have you balanced that? I know your parents are Mormon, right?
Yeah.
So how do they feel about you living the religion, and do they know about what you do?
So I don't think they think that I have been out of the church as long as I have.
Okay.
Like I said, I when I was a teenager, I was 15 or so, I found out a lot like about the church's history. So I was in, but I was out because
Okay.
I was forced to go to church. And once I graduated high school, they wanted me to go to singles ward. They still don't know this, but like I would go on Sunday, I'd get all dressed up, but I'd go take a nap in my car because I didn't want to go to church. And now after we had our first son, I was pressured nonstop to get him blessed in the church and everything, and just would not hear the end of it. And so I did to appease people. And when my second was born, it was during COVID, and like it was kind of nice because I wasn't pressured because there was no churches open.
True.
And I could blame it on it because they were like, well, we need to do something. And I was like, no, I'm not going to take a newborn when there's something out that, common cold or anything can kill a newborn. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of use this.
That was your excuse.
That was my excuse. and then I just kind of for lack of a better term, I got balls, and I was like, no, I'm not going to, you guys aren't going to force me to do things anymore. I'm in my 20s. I've moved out. I'm just not.
Did you meet your husband in the church?
Kind of.
In the singles ward?
No.
Oh.
He was at the gym and wouldn't get off a piece of equipment I needed.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know the drill.
Yeah. Little did I know he was plotting to ask me out, and there I am just pissed that he won't get off the lat pull down. But yeah, so that's where I met him. But everybody in this town's Mormon, so he was in singles ward. So I would go with him because he was going to go on a mission. So I wanted to spend as much time with him as I could. But he was kind of in the same point that I was, just more of the people-pleasing thing. I don't think he honestly believed in the church, but it was more of...
He didn't serve a mission?
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm. He actually left for a few months to India, and then he came home. Because obviously, by church's standards, he wasn't worthy to go. Because, we were having... he had his previous girlfriends too. So he came home. And that was kind of traumatic for him because he had to go in front of all these old men and tell them who he's had sex with, what they did, like in detail. and all sorts of stuff, and like just be judged. Like, that's weird. You know what I mean? I thankfully didn't have that issue like he did. I did talk to a bishop, but I was blessed with a very good bishop. Like, and a lot of them are, but a lot of them, especially now that I have the OnlyFans, I kind of wonder if some of them get off knowing these things, you know? Because I hear some things and I'm like, oh. But I mean, yeah, like I said, I was blessed to have the person that I didn't judge me, but for him, he was judged like no other. And like he couldn't take the sacrament or anything. And if you've ever been to a LDS church, when they stop in the middle of the meeting to hand out like the bread and pass the water and stuff, people look at you, especially if you don't take it. So it's like, then people are sitting there wondering, well, he must have done this and he must have done this, especially if he came home from a mission within 3 months. Then I'm sitting with him and I wasn't taking it. So it's like,
Like, oh, two of them.
yeah, it was like Game of Thrones, walking down naked, judge. So it's definitely like that.
Oh, did you see that episode in Game of Thrones where they said shame, shame?
Yeah, that's
That's
how
what
it
you're
felt.
talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah.
I was uncomfortable when I watched that episode. I was like,
Mhm.
poor lady.
See, I didn't watch too much of that, but when I saw that episode, that was instantly what popped in my head when I watched that.
So, what are your day-to-day activities like? I want to know, like, the in the head of an OnlyFans model,
Hmm.
what's your day-to-day activities like? Like, what's your life like on a day-to-day basis?
Okay.
Apart from family, how do you balance it up creating content? Because someone told me, a wise man told me a while ago, he told me content creation comes with depression
Hmm.
because it's difficult to keep up editing and all that stuff before you post. Then you have to target your audience,
Hmm.
try to get a certain amount of views and, for you, subscriptions.
Yeah.
So how is it like?
So for me, I guess I'm kind of blessed because my kids are young.
Okay.
And they're 1 and 3. So from the morning, it's wake up. I wake up just a little bit earlier than they do so that I can go check all my messages. I might take a few teasing photos first when I get up
Okay.
because like people like that I'm authentic and I usually don't wear a lot of makeup or that kind of thing. I don't like putting on filters and people like that, which is funny because all the girls are not like that. So that's the one thing that draws people. So
She's hating. FYI. Shots fired.
shots fired. Yeah. So that's the one thing about me is like that's kind of my niche is I'm very natural
Okay.
and then the ex-Mormon thing. So it brings people in. So I'll take those photos. I'll go wake up my kids. I'll get all their stuff done. If my husband's at work, somebody will usually come over and watch them real quick so I can go to the gym. Then I get home and I put them down for nap time. That's when I will do custom videos. So like if somebody requests for me to do something for them, that's when I film those. Or I just film any content because my page needs that people love solo stuff. Hell, they like public stuff too. So if I'm in the parking lot after the gym, they want something from that too. So I use my time where I have it. So when they're napping, that's when I do all of that. And then just through the night when we're getting ready for like bedtime, they usually sit down and watch a show before bed. That's when I catch up on messages again. So I just balance my time to work for me, which is great. Not many jobs you can do that. If I was on there more often, I could definitely be making more money. But again, that's not as important to me. What's important to me is, the time with my kids.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. So what would you like everyone out there, like the viewers out there, to know about OnlyFans? Because there's stigma about OnlyFans. A lot of people feel differently or they feel judgmental about OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think talking to you today, I've come to understand a different side of OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your message for them, for the people, everyone else? Like, what do you have to say about OnlyFans in your own words?
I would just say don't judge people. Like, I know that is just so simple, but it's true. It's like if you saw me walking down the street or at the gym, you probably wouldn't think that I did any of that. You know, a lot of people think it's shallow, self-centered people that are doing it.
Hmm.
And it's not. There's a lot of moms. I've made a lot of good friends off of there. Like, it's funny. But like, you can be open and you can be yourself, but just don't hate on somebody for doing something completely different than you would do, because they're not the problem, you're the problem if you have to project that on someone else.
I have an LDS quote for you. So it says, "Don't judge me because I sin in a
Sin
different
differently
way
than you.
than you."
Yep.
So I think that quote is powerful. In our life today, in our days today, our generation, people judge.
Yeah.
They will judge you because you're doing something differently. You know, they don't know what it means to be in your shoes.
Yeah.
So what I tell people is whatever works for you, whatever makes you happy, because only you can make yourself happy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna wait for someone to make you happy, you're gonna wait for eternity. It's not gonna happen. You know, like my people like to say, they say you're on your own.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey dude, you're on your own. You know, like you came into this world alone. You're living alone too. You know, so yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I'm grateful for your time today. For gracing me with your presence in my podcast. I'm pretty sure the viewers out there have had a chance to learn a thing or two, and you're gonna get some followers too. I bet. And I hope your dad doesn't see this podcast.
If he does, Dad, sorry.
She's sorry. She's sorry.
It's been good for me.
Yeah, whatever works for you, you know. So,
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And hope to see you in our subsequent episodes moving forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.